Hey everybody, this is Rob with VPT Live, VPT Insider. Going to do a quick update on a position that we're in on SHAK. A short, believe it or not, we're going to challenge, we're going to take on these momentum traders. So we're short SHAK. Before I get into the trade today, and I'll talk a little bit about the anatomy of a short setup, a lot of these things are just about timing, because if you got in a little early, you're going to get the same signals here that you see here, but if you get in a little early, it can be tough. So you got to have some patience with these things to sort of rip out the gates. GoPro is going to have a similar setup right there, right? Boom, boom, boom. Not exactly the same kind of pattern. A little bit more gaps in GoPro, but we were playing that properly from the short side near the very end. We got stuck in it from 60 to 70, but really nailed it from about 85 up to 90 and caught a lot of the drop down. So we're on the daily here on SHAK. Not a lot of history. Just point out they make burgers. So whenever the first thing, in my opinion, and of course all of this is my opinion, when you're going to tackle on a stock like this and try to pick a top on a fast mover with a small float, a little bit of mania behind it, is to just not get too caught up in any of the news or mania about it, or the fundamentals, or they make burgers, or they're trading at 1,000 times earnings, or have no earnings. I mean, those things make you feel good to stay in the short. What I like to do is just do a risk-based stop, because it's very tough to actually pick the tops in these things. So what got us short today? What got us short today was finally this sort of blow-off action when we finally got back and got our RSI signal there. So we got our RSI signal on this bar right in here, and we originally got short, I think, around 77.5, just 100 shares. By the way, it's not easy to get a borrow on this. We shorted a little bit more, I think up near the high of the day, and got us an average price. If we look right here, our average price is, yeah, 707. No, not 707, excuse me. Our average price is $7 and 79.31 is our average price. But here's the important thing on this. So we're short 200 shares, and the only way to handle this in terms of, well, one other thing you can do in terms of projection, this came up today as well. We have some folks that do a lot more fib work, so excuse me if you don't like the way I do this fib work, but I'm just going to pull it from this swing, last swing high down to here. And you can see the one, that might be a little bit difficult to see, but the 127 came in right at 83.33 even. So that gave us a little bit more confidence to put on one more piece right here. Unfortunately, we were able to get a borrow, because there's been some times in the past where we were saved by not being able to get a borrow, and then we missed this whole big drop, and we couldn't short this day here as well, and we had the right signals and setups there. So what do we mean by a risk-based stop? A risk-based stop is, in this case, we're going to risk $1,500 on this position. We're already down $700 in open net losses. So on 200 shares, if we can lose another $800, right, that's just $4 more. So at $4 more, we're out, and that's our stop. This thing could push another 10 bucks right up to 100, round numbers, all that kind of stuff. So risk-based stops are how we're going to handle this. We like our fill, but on these fast movers, you got to have a plan going in. You got to have a reason and rationale for the trade to start. And if that happens, they do tend to have a really nice risk reward, because this thing could easily, of course, just fall $20, $30, fall out of bed. And if we really get a nice move and we're able to keep that on, then we could hold for a bigger sustained move, down here to 50 again, which is certainly possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen instantly, and there's a cost to carry being short. So this is kind of a classic anatomy of a short sale, of a short squeeze. It looks very squeezy here, and we got some nice technical setups, both the Fibonacci extension level 127 and an overbought RS3 trade on the daily. So that's the trade in SHAK. So we're short SHAK. We're also long Loco, and you can see here there's a couple other. Why don't we just review the portfolio real quick, because there are some positions in here that we're going to be holding for swing trades, and this was the plan going in. So Loco's kind of fallen out of bed. Really needs to hold this 22 level would be nice. I mean, if it drops below that, we're into post IPO gap territory. So we got long a little early there on that gap. I like the value here. It was meant to be a swing trade, so we're fine there. This is the SHAK position that I just mentioned. We did pick up these Walmart 77 calls, so we're doing some bottom fishing on some of these weak ones. I already did a video on Twitter. Really like this. We got a little different price in here, because in our other trading portfolio, we're actually in at around 95 cents. Looks like closed at 88. We have the Chevron calls, gold GDX calls. We couldn't stay away from some of the big gaps down today in the airlines, so went in there and bought the June 38 calls in Southwest Airlines as well. TLT, Urban Outfitters, and then this is a trade that I think really protects us. It's the XIV short. So short XIV is a way to be long volatility, and if we do get a little bit of a pullback in the broader markets here, that's going to sort of protect the overall portfolio. But this is meant to be a trading portfolio with some swing trades. None of the futures are held in here because we don't hold futures overnight generally, and this is the VPT Model P that we trade in the VPT live trade room. All right, we'll leave it there for now. This is Rob with VPT reminding you always trade like you mean it. We'll see you at the next update. Thanks.